over integers and absolute value. In this video, you'll be learning about irrational and rational numbers, operations with integers, and absolute value. This video is intended for students in 6th and 7th grade math. First, we'll be talking about rational and irrational numbers. A rational number is a number that can be written as a ratio of two integers. For example, a repeating and terminating decimal would qualify as a rational number. For example, 2.5, 2, -1, etc. An irrational number is a number that can't be written as a ratio of two integers. For example, pi, which is 3.1415, repeating. And then other examples are non-repeating and non-terminating decimals like the square root of -1. Here's a diagram to show you how irrational and rational numbers are divided. Real numbers. Real numbers include both rational and irrational numbers. Rational numbers only have 4 categories, while irrational only has 1 itself. The 4 categories of the rational numbers are rational, integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers. Natural and whole numbers. Natural numbers are all positive numbers except 0. Whole numbers are all positive numbers, including 0. Integers and rational numbers. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers, so it's everything excluding decimals or fractions. Rational numbers include everything such as integers, natural numbers, and whole numbers, and fractions and decimals. Now we'll talk about absolute value. What exactly is absolute value? Well, absolute value is the distance from 0 on the number line. Distance cannot be negative, so the absolute value has to be positive. For example, the absolute value of 3 is 3 because it is 3 units away from 0 on the number line. The absolute value of -5 is 5 because 5 is 5 units away from 0 on the number line. Here, now I'll give you 10 seconds to practice these 4 questions. Okay, good job. Now we're going to check your answers. So the absolute value of -4 should be 4. The absolute value of 3 is 3. The absolute value of -9 is 9. And the absolute value of 8 minus 3 is 5. If you answered all of these questions correctly, good job. If you didn't, please go back and review the previous slides that we covered. Now we'll cover operations with integers. Adding integers. If it's the same sign, add their absolute value and solve. After that, place the sign of the numbers on the sum. For example, -2 plus -2. We find the absolute value of both numbers, we keep the sign, and we do 2 plus 2, and it gives us 4. And since the sign were both negative, we would put a negative sign in front of the 4, which would give us -4, which is a sum. If there are different signs, we have to subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater one. After that, we place the sign of the greater number on the sum. For example, as we can see here, -5 is greater than +2, so the answer would have to be negative. So we started by taking the absolute value of both numbers, and we changed the sign in the middle from positive to negative, so we would change it from adding to subtracting. Then we do 5 minus 2, and we get 3. And since -5 is greater than 2, we put the negative in front and get -3 as the answer. Subtracting integers. If they're the same sign, we subtract to add the opposite. So a minus b equals a plus -b. 5 minus 3 equals 5 plus -3. For example, as we can see, -5 minus 2. We take the absolute value of both of them, change the sign in the middle. 5 plus 2 is 7. Since the sign are both negative, we put the negative sign in front and we get -7 as the answer. If they're different signs, for example, -2 minus -2, we change the sign in the middle, and since it's negative times negative, we have to change it to a positive. And if we add -2 plus 2, we get 0. And 3 minus 4 is just -1. Multiplying and dividing integers. Here are 4 important rules that you should remember for these 2 operations. Negative times negative is always positive, as well as positive times positive is always positive. Negative times positive is negative. Positive times negative is negative. Same signs multiplied equals positive. Different signs multiplied equals negative. For example, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. These rules also apply for division. As we can see, positive divided by positive equals positive. Negative divided by negative equals positive. Negative divided by positive equals negative. Positive divided by negative equals negative. So dividing same signs equals positive, and dividing different signs is negative. For example, negative 6 divided by negative 2 is 3. Negative 8 divided by 4 is 2. Here's a quick tip to dividing and multiplying. Just multiply the numbers and forget the signs, and then afterwards see if they're both the same signs. If they're not, then it's negative, but if they are, it's positive. Here's a little bit about myself. Thanks for watching. Here's some additional resources to help you further your learning. Bye.